Jennifer Sampu here, and I am showing you how to put the placement of your 5 twigs onto the background of the quilt, which is the Cardinal wreath quilt, using my Holiday Shimmer collection. So in the pattern, you're going to have this template that you will transfer to tracing paper. You'll have to blow it up on the copier and transfer it, but it gives you the guidelines of where the background octagon is and the background stars. You've got your stars here. And so here's your 5 twigs that you've already made. You've done them with the bias maker. You've sewn together the light and the dark to give the highlights of the branch. And then you've already put your steam-a-seam on the back. So that's all adhered to all 5 branches. So this is the process if you end up quilting your quilt first, which is what I did. I wanted to quilt my quilt first, and then I'm appliquing the wreath, the twig wreath on top of it. So I've got my enlarged template, and it's twigs. It doesn't have to be perfect. Twigs grow in different shapes and they bend in different ways. So here I'm peeling off the steam-a-seam top, that top layer, and then that's discarded, okay? But I took that one off, but I'm gonna actually work backwards. Can you see right here, I'm going to put the 2 branches, which is the small one and the mid-size one, on first. And you'll see why. So the small one's gonna go first. And the reason I'm doing that is I'm peeling my steam-a-seam and I'm just placing it right underneath the tissue. I don't feel like sketching and holding it up to window, and because it's quilted already, so that wouldn't really work. It would work if you're going to quilt it all later. It would work if you just had the quilt top, and you could put it on a light box or up on a window. But there's different ways to skin a cat, as they say. Okay, the other piece is this piece. So I'm going to peel the steam-a-seam off. And what I love about steam-a-seam is you don't have to worry about doing anything backwards. The way you adhere it and peel it off and use it is all, you don't have to flip your letters backwards, you don't have to mirror anything. But here, I have to, let's see, right here. Okay. So I'm lining up where the light blue is and the dark blue right to the seam of the star. And I'm just tacking it down. The steam-a-seam has a nice tacky quality to it. And then I'm taking this little branch, which belongs over here. Sometimes you got to get the edge of the steam-a-seam. You peel the steam-a-seam back. And you have to make sure you press the steam-a-seam on the one side so it's sticky and it holds true. I press it down with my finger. And the other great thing is you can reposition it. Like I gotta move this down just a little bit. And again, this is a guide. Like if it's not meaning exactly, that's fine. They're twigs, like I said. They grow in organic ways. Okay, then I get my second to largest piece. And the reason I'm doing it in this order, I'm sure as you figured out watching me, is that I want the little branches to be covered up by the big branch. So sometimes I'll put a pin, like I'm gonna put a pin right now. Right? I'm gonna put a pin right here just to secure my tissue paper so it doesn't flop around. So then I can fold this back, fold that back right there along the line of the branch line. And then I can place See how nice that works? It's kind of press it down, and I'll press it with the iron after. But now I'm just finger pressing it. And then I fold this back down and make sure I like the location of it. And I actually want to bring it down a little bit, so I'm repositioning it to bring it down a little bit. Right there. And I'm tucking this in a little because my edge was a little short there. So you want to tuck in all your edges. And then the final piece is the longest piece. And I'm going to fold that back. And I'm going to place this and that right there, that seam, light to dark, is going to go right at the edge of the star. Right there at the edge of the star. And I like that very much. Now I can take this off, and my twigs are essentially where I want them. They are, I'll do a little tucking, and then I'm going to iron this down, and then you can either hand applique or you can machine applique. And I've done both on this wreath. Now I'm showing you how I will press the steam-a-seam twigs to the quilt. Use a dry iron, set on cotton linen, and just slowly move the iron across the twigs so the steam-a-seam adheres to the back. And then I don't have to use any pins when I'm doing my machine applique or your hand applique, which makes it really nice, especially with your machine applique too. When you're rolling a quilt up and you've got kind of a big piece to deal with, it's nice to have the steam-a-seam. So that is adhered to the quilt, and it is ready to machine applique down. So now I am machine appliquing the twigs to the background of the quilt, and I have it set on my Bernina as a number 7, which the needle runs all along. Oops, see, now I've got to reduce the length or the width of my zigzag. So the needle runs to the far right and then just captures the applique piece, the applique twig. And the monopoly is a product by Superior Threads. It can be difficult to work with because it's very hard to see, but because it's so hard to see, it makes it a wonderful product for machine applique. I mean, I've done hand applique and machine applique on this quilt, and you have to look really close to see which is which. And I just go right through that twig. I'll come back and do this twig later, but I want to finish this main part of the twig. The bobbin thread is white to match the back of the quilt. And always remember to put in a fresh needle. When you're doing a new project, you're starting on a new project, put in a nice fresh needle. And the other thing I love about my Bernina is I can heel the presser foot. When I put my heel down, it puts my needle position facing down. So I am hugging right to the edge of this twig. When we get to the tip of this twig, I'm going to have to tuck the tip of the twig in. Flip that under, tuck that. I don't want any raw edges showing. Tuck that in. my heel down, tack that corner, which is perfect. Turn the quilt. You just gotta take your time. Put a good book on your Audible or listen to some great music. I'm gonna retuck that, get my pin, retuck that right there. Then put my presser foot back down. Heel it just to catch the edge, catch that tip. Okay, I just have a few more inches to go to get to the bottom, and I'll back tack it and go on to the next twig.